Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Morning, Doug. I'm great. How are you?
First of all, congratulations on winning the Rudy Tomjanovich Award from the Writers Association. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm honored, really honored, Doug. I think it's unexpected. JQ just kind of pulled me over and gave me the news here a little bit ago, but I don't know. I'm quite honored. I think Rudy T, first of all, has a pretty good legacy and one of the greatest sport quotes of all time, right? I think so. It being named after him is kind of cool, and I don't know what else to say. I'm honored.
Yeah, I was actually the president when we got that award in place, and we named it after Rudy because of that quote, and gave it to Jerry Sloan because he had never been the coach of the year in the first year. You said yesterday that you thought Fred was sort of like a kid who was born to lead. In what do you mean by that? Like, what do you see that leads you to think that?
Well, I think that Doug, he plays to win, right? I think he's done it his whole life. Every team he's been on has been successful, and I think that is an infectious leadership type of thing. You know, when you're looking at people's pedigree or resume and looking back on, gee, man, you scratch your head, that guy's always on a winning team, whether it's high school or college or pro or whatever. And it's like really evident with him. So that's the first thing. So he leads by example with his play. He's tough. He'll defend. Now he's even becoming more vocal as a guy who's, I hear him a lot more than ever coaching from the side when he's not in a play or when the second unit's in and he's directing them on some new stuff that we're learning. He's very vocal, a real coach on the sideline a little bit now. He's a coach on the floor when he's playing, obviously, but he's also the coach on the sideline when he's out.
Great. Thanks very much, Nick. Appreciate the time as always.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug. We'll go to Michael Grange.
Hey, Nick. And again, I'll echo Doug's comments, and we always really, really appreciate your cooperation with our market. And I know that's echoed nationally. So thank you. And it's a well-deserved award.
No, thanks a lot. Appreciate it, really.
This is your first chance to go up against Zion because he was out both times you played them last year. And I guess, does it ever get old? I mean, the NBA is full of incredible people. I mean, we know that. But, does it ever get old when you kind of see a guy like Zion or Giannis or LeBron, like just these extraordinary types, and what's your reaction and what are you kind of looking forward to?
Not at all, Michael. I think it's really what, lots of things go into making the game exciting, but this is one of them that's at the top of the list, is when you got to try to game plan and prepare and figure out what you can do with these guys. And as you mentioned, this is the first time with him. So, we we do a lot of studying and looking and throwing ideas up there and taking some down and putting other ones up and trying to figure out, what we think may work. And then you go to B and C and D and E usually with guys like this. So no, it's really fun and a really, it's an awesome part of what I do for a living for me.
Has he on film shown a kind of a skill component that can counter multiple approaches? I mean, physically we know he's pretty special, but does he have like an extra layer that you've seen so far that makes it difficult?
Well, he's very good, Michael, right? Obviously, and he's got some in and out. He's got some, the guys that can do a little bit of everything are tough, right? The guys that can bring it in transition, shoot it, post it, drive it, handle in the screen and roll, set in the screen and roll. Those are the guys that, are really tough because they put you in. You got to plan for so much, right? And he's got all those abilities. We're going to see tonight. I think it's a really interesting, intriguing matchup between him and OG when you're talking about man on man or person on person defense, and then we'll see how the schemes work out and see if we can execute them.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Nick. Have a great day.
Yep. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Michael. We'll go to Josh Lewinberg.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Josh. Thank you.
What can you tell us about Norm's status for tonight?
Well, we are waiting through some of the protocols with Norm at the moment. I would imagine this is the first of many times on game day that we're going to be talking about this. You know, and I would, you know, just encourage everybody that because we're waiting, there's a lot of things that go into this, and because we're waiting, it certainly doesn't mean there's a positive test or any of that kind of stuff. There's just some protocols that we're waiting to get through, and hopefully we'll have some more information shortly, knowing whether he'll be ready to go tonight. And as soon as we get that info, you guys will have it, I'm sure.
Outside of Norm and Pat, do you expect to have everybody else available tonight?
Yes, I do.
I also want to ask you quickly about Steven Adams and how you think his addition will complement Zion in the front court with New Orleans, and what kind of a test is that for Aaron right out of the gate, a physical center to go up against?
Yeah, I think they know each other quite well, Adams and Aaron. So obviously going to be two physical, you know, two maybe the most physical guys in the league out there. There'd be a kind of a basketball game going on around a wrestling match over there and under the basket maybe. But it is a good test. Adams' big thing is he is physical, but he's tough on the glass, man. He's such a he goes to the offensive glass, and his size and his strength make him hard. You got to use multiple people, you know, to keep him off the glass. So that's the biggest thing I'm worried about with him is trying to limit his putbacks, and he's really good at keeping possessions alive, tapping it around. And he's a good screener too, so it puts you in a bind defensively.
Great. Thanks, Nick, and congratulations on the Writers Association's award.
Thank you very much, Josh. Have a good day. See you later.
Thank you, Josh. We'll go to Ed from the Tampa Bay Times.
Hi, Nick. How are you doing today?
Great, Ed. How are you?
Good. Hey, you know, so you've talked a lot about how, you know, atypical this situation is with you guys being here in Tampa, and even, you know, down to the arena and not playing in front of many fans. When you look to, and your team looks to flip that switch into the regular season, does any of that make it different, or is it the same kind of, you know, focus that you're kind of like, you know, this is the beginning of the season, this is when it all matters, and you know, it seems as normal, I guess, as it can be?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the veteran guys, you know, kind of maybe have a gear or a switch to flip on, you know, now that the official season starts or the official lights come on here tonight. You know, I'm not saying we're an overly veteran team, but we've got 6 or 7 guys that have been in this league for a number of years now. So I think those guys will be ready to go. It's kind of getting the new guys and the newcomers to the league, or any of the other guys that we're planning on using tonight, up to speed. And I think that, you know, again, you probably haven't heard me say this as much as the other guys, but all I really care about is they go out there and they can play defense and execute our defensive schemes. Like, they've got to be able to go out there and keep a sound in those areas, and then we'll start growing from there, right? Any of the other stuff they do offensively or provide for us here and there will be kind of icing on the cake for the moment, but we got to make sure they're ready to go, that their energy is up, and they're impacting the game with their speed and what I like to call juice. You know, they're bringing their juice to the game, and then taking care of the ball, not hurting us on the offensive end for starters.
Thank you. And if I just follow up real fast with a real kind of an offbeat question real fast.
Okay.
You know, we talk about super fans a lot, and I know you guys in Toronto have one that's you know, a really, really special one. You know, what makes Nav Bhatia so special? You know, and I know that you guys you guys embrace him, you gave him a ring, all this other stuff. I mean, what, for us down here, we really don't know that much about him. What makes him kind of a special guy, you know?
Well, first of all, for me, what makes him so special is he does a heck of a lot of charitable work in the community, right? He has well, he gives back a lot. So I like this platform that has grown, the icon he's become, all those kind of things. He's using it in the right way. So that's the first thing that makes him special in my mind, right? But obviously he's travels a lot. He's always in the front row. He's always showing tons of energy, and he's gracious. Like, I think any fans from around the league that ever bump into him, and I think he takes more selfies than anybody in our organization. So he's a gracious person as well.
Thank you, Dick.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ed. We'll wrap up with Aaron Rose from SI.com.
Hey, Nick. Happy opening day, sort of. Are you sort of treating it this year like you're not going to know who you have on any given night until the ball tips off? Is it one of those things where you could find out moments before the game that somebody's a close contact or somebody tested positive, or is it mid-afternoon you'll have a good idea? How are you sort of treating things this year?
Well, I think, Aaron, it looks like I'm in a scenario now where I may not know till the afternoon what's going on. There's just, again, a lot of chain of communication that has to get boxes ticked. So I don't know how late that's going to go right now. I guess that kind of probably remains to be seen, but I'm used to it. I think we had a rule back in the minors that an hour before tip, you had to put your official lineup out there about who was playing tonight. So, and that usually went till that hour until you knew who you had exactly. So it gives you a full 60 minutes to digest and game plan and figure out your rotations and all that stuff. So I've had some good training for that.